We all know different representations help us to understand concepts, make links that enable us to relate to ideas we may have never experienced in our lives. The most powerful links are the ones that engage us by building on our prior learning and base our new learning in a purposeful context. I mean, how many times have we come across the teaching of fractions with pizza or cake? As adults, our interest is sparked when a conversation is about a place we have been to, a restaurant we may have experienced, or times in history that we were present for, where we can remember where we were and exactly what we were doing. The trouble is, you don't know what you don't know. How do you teach a diverse curriculum when you are not taught from one? How do you stimulate the interests of children and communities that you have less in common with? Let's face it, we can only begin from where our own knowledge, skills and experience starts. As Nelson Mandela once said, it always seems impossible until it is done. Now imagine having access to tools that not only identify these gaps within our intended curriculum, but also provide ideas with meaningful hooks embedded in the implementation geared towards having an impact on the vast communities we serve in Lambeth. Tools for teachers by teachers. Through a rigorous selection process, we have recruited a team of curriculum developers to do just that. A team of 5 primary and 5 secondary experienced teachers who will inspire our curriculums and blow the glass ceiling apart so our children see themselves and can relate to what they are learning. Let's hear what the developers have to say.
There are many possibilities of diversifying the curriculum. We want to broaden the horizons of all of our groups so that we're representative of all voices that we've got in Lambeth. Raising Black Caribbean attainment is key, and we can do that through inclusive practice, through planning and assessment. We want to make sure that the Black Caribbean materials are really fun, that we have got rich Caribbean literature and of course a carnival party atmosphere. We're also going to open ourselves up to a wealth of new community engagement, including parents and community leaders.
The tools we've produced are made by teachers for teachers. We've done the hard work for you. Material that can be embedded into your existing curriculum that meets statutory requirements and is Ofsted approved. It's going to be a true curriculum that reflects, inspires and acknowledges true contributions from the Black community.
When teaching about the ancient kingdom of Benin, we found that the children were having trouble relating to the unit. We therefore adapted what we were teaching, making links between the fictional nation of Wakanda as seen in the recent film Black Panther. We used clips from the film, as well as the quote, "Those who cannot remember the past are doomed to repeat it," at the start of our lesson. As you can imagine, this really enthused the children. They were devastated to learn what had happened in the ancient kingdom of Benin, and therefore wrote passionate letters to the British Museum, imploring them to return the Benin bronzes to what is now modern-day Nigeria. We also asked them to put themselves in the place of a fictional nation such as Wakanda, thinking about what they could offer to the rest of the world, and they wrote speeches. Diversifying the curriculum gave us the opportunity to bring a topic to life for the children. It made them passionate about what they were learning, which in turn made them enthusiastic about learning more and putting to use what they had learnt. It gave them a context for their learning and a reason for learning from the past.
I think this is a really exciting project. I think it will really increase children's confidence. I think children learning about their own history and their own culture and seeing them represented in what we're teaching them will really give them a sense of ownership over their learning and really raise their achievement. I think it will also raise expectations among both children and teachers. I think in terms of diversifying the curriculum to really cater for the Black Caribbean children will impact children from lots of different diverse backgrounds, not just Black Caribbean children. I think it'll give all children a chance to learn from a really rich and diverse culture.
By diversifying the science curriculum, we really want to give children a broad range of opportunities, experiences, and part of that is building on the idea of science capital. Because as children travel through primary school, they might enjoy science and they might get a lot from it, but actually they might also think, well, it's not for me, it's not a subject for me, that's for somebody else. But really, by diversifying the curriculum, we want to alter that. We want children to think, well, actually, there is a broad range of diverse scientists who are working currently. There's a broad range of diverse scientists throughout history, and we want to really tap into that and give children opportunities and experiences to think like a scientist, so they think, well, actually, I could pursue that as a career. It doesn't have to be for other children. Actually, that's something that I'm really interested in, something that I'm really inspired by, and diversity can be a way to tackle that for all sorts of groups in the primary phase.
For our young people, the transition from primary school to secondary school is quite a difficult one. It's a time where insecurity and confidence lacking creeps in, especially they're moving from the age of 11 to 12, becoming from being the biggest of the year to the smallest of the year again. And I feel if they have a curriculum where they're able to see themselves in a positive light, it can only increase confidence, make sure they're secure in where they're going, to start this new period in their life. They say you only know where you're going when you know where you're coming from.
By cross-phase working, we aim to build greater knowledge across phases around the expectations of pupils' prior learning. This way, we can best prepare children for the next stage in their lives, improving transition links from primary to secondary. Sorry, this will not be a ready-made curriculum because that's just boring. The best bit is that you can choose the parts you want to use. Although some of the common themes in our schools will support us in creating opportunities where we can work together across schools, both horizontally and vertically, strengthening the educational diet we provide our children across Lambeth. We know better, so let's do better. Now, in the words of Maya Angelou, great achievements take time, so watch this space for the outcomes. The most valuable resources that all teachers have is each other. Without collaboration, our growth is limited to our own perspectives. Robert John Meehan.